welcome back to Total Spotfest. JJ Brownlee, Jamie Faulkner, coming back at you. Another action-packed week of wrestling. We had a pay-per-view over the weekend. Not talking about, apparently something happened on Sunday. I don't even know what that is because there was a really good Impact pay-per-view. Some great things happening from Under Siege. We have lots of AEW stuff going on here. Indie wrestler spotlight coming up. All sorts of things. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate it. If you are watching, once again, my apologies for last week. We did have some technical difficulties. By we, I mean some technical difficulties with OBS. Doing weird things, and it sounded great, but our interview with Christian Rose and our video from last week were the video got a little screwed up. If you haven't checked it out, by the way, go check out the interview for Christian Rose. A little balloon popping up right here. It was fantastically good time. So if you are watching this on YouTube, you should hopefully see a clear video this week. We do appreciate you watching us, though. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, comment down below, all the things. Follow us on social media at Total Spotfest. Jamie, how have you been this past week? I know it's been a little hot for you, I want to say.
It really, really has. It's been one of those things that I lost AC in my car, and that sucks. So
right when it gets to be like an unseasonably warm, like mid-90s in Kansas City in May.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But you know what? It actually was working out because I've been thinking about trading my car anyway. So
okay,
I am going to trade my vehicle. I'm getting rid of my Traverse, my 18 miles to the gallon, and damn near doubling it, and get myself a Kia Optima.
Did you pull like 500 miles a week on that car or something stupid like that?
Minimum of 112 2 days a week.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, and I won't get into specifics, but Jamie basically drives from one corner of the metro straight across to the other side corner and beyond and back just for Lord Megan's hashtag not my champions softball team.
It's true. It's true.
It's very true. Is she doing better, by the way?
She is. She's cleared for all softball activities. So she's been back at practice this week. She's getting there. But yeah, no, she's doing pretty well.
She's
I'm
not
actually
milking,
pretty happy.
She's not milking this as much as she can.
No, she is dying to get back on that field. So that's kind of nice.
I'm not gonna lie. When I had my concussion, it was I milked the shit out of it, and I was definitely older than she was. Let's just say college-ish age. I milked the living crap out of it. So, well, best of luck to her. Congratulations to you. Join the Kia Brigade. Not trying to be a homer, but I have a Kia. I love my Kia, so it'll save. That's a smarter choice. I mean, as much as you do drive, yeah, definitely. This day and age, get that gas mileage. So,
for sure.
Okay, well, we had some wrestling happen this past week, of course. Like I said, there was a WWE pay-per-view over the weekend. Didn't watch, didn't care. Apparently, they wrote off Charlotte Flair because she's getting married, right? And so Ronda Rousey's now won both women's titles. Good for her, and other things happen.
No one cares.
Nobody cares. What you should care about, though, is Impact Wrestling. And I know there's some out there who don't and give us a hard time about it. But hear me out. Here's my defense. So they had Under Siege this weekend. It's one of their little mini pay-per-views, right? They just had a pay-per-view, JJ. That's how you won that belt, right? Yes, they did. They do not do a good job, admittedly so, of spacing their big pay-per-views. AEW, good job. WWE even, good job, right? They have that cadence down. Impact, not so much, because they just had Rebellion, which was one of their big four. And then next month, in June, they have their WrestleMania Slammiversary. So, not the best job of spacing them out. Be that as it may, you got to have something in there to end and set up new storylines, rivalries, things of that nature ahead of Slammiversary. Under Siege. So one of those little $10 jobbers, fantastic to get to. I really like these because they're great bang for your buck. And this pay-per-view was highly enjoyable, I really thought. The main event, which is a match right up your alley. Josh Alexander versus Tomohiro Ishii for the Impact World title. It was a lengthy match, and it was all strong style, perfectly timed out, one of those paced matches that I really like. Very technical, very good, very good. Of course, Alexander retained, but fantastic match. You had the Bullet Club going against Honor No More. Bullet Club with El Phantasmo, by the way, so it could be a 5-on-5.
Nice. I like me some El Phantasmo.
Oh, love me some El. I'm doing it right. However he does the thing, love it. With a lot of Bullet Club, typical Bullet Club tropes, like the slow, overdrawn out back scratch, and all the things. But Honor No More ended up getting the victory. Maybe they got something planned for this. I don't know. I feel like they don't really know what they're going to do with Honor No More. So anyway, we'll see where they take that. You had Tasha Steelz defending against Havoc, and it was a 1-on-1 match for the Impact World Tag Team Championship or World Title, because Savannah Evans wasn't at ringside. Rosemary had kidnapped her on the previous Impact Wrestling last Thursday and taken her to the Demon Realm so that she couldn't interfere with the match to make it a fair fight between Havoc and Tasha Steelz. So Tasha did defend, but I love me some Rosemary. I want to see Rosemary. I want to see Rosemary in Journey Pro. For those our friends out there that are listening that run Journey Pro, get me some Rosemary in Journey Pro. That's what I want to see.
I'm Team Abaddon. I want me some Abaddon. Bad.
Ooh. How about Rosemary versus Abaddon? The zombie versus the demon assassin. I mean, that could be amazing.
Maybe. Probably.
Maybe for the October show.
Yeah, Abaddon would be way expensive for October.
Oh, stupid. I mean, I'm sure she's got something going on. So,
she's a living dead girl in October.
Did you see her interrupt a TikTok that was done by the baddies? Kiera Hogan.
So good. Yeah, so good. So good.
Just comes in, turns around, does a little booty shake, and it's like, oh, she's so good. She's so good. So, Abaddon's great. So, anyway, you also had Chris Sabin versus Steve Macklin. Chris Sabin actually won that. Alex Shelley, Mike Bailey. Fantastic match. Ace Austin versus Trey Miguel for the X Division title. Another just flippy, spinny shit. JJ's type of match. Love the shit out of that. Ace Austin retained, of course. And then you had on the pre-show, I think it was on the pre-show. You had Giselle Shaw with Alicia Edwards in her corner in a weird relationship sort of thing, beat Madison Rain. So I guess maybe they're setting them up to be the next contenders for the Knockouts tag titles. Not sure. But you had two matches that I really want to talk about. Taya Valkyrie versus Deonna Purrazzo, which was a return match from Rebellion of the AAA Reina de Reinas Championship that Taya won from Deonna. Deonna now doesn't have the Ring of Honor women's title, and she dropped that to Mercedes Martinez. She has no belts, right? A little bit odd seeing Deonna without any hardware on her right now, to be truthful, but and it stayed that way. So this is a very enjoyable match. These two can put on a fantastic match together, and that's no surprise. If you know women's wrestling, should not surprise you in the least. Taya retained, but afterwards felt the wrath of Deonna. She went after her, was mad at the ref, started beating her up and going after her and all this stuff. So Taya ended up getting saved by a returning Mia Yim, using the Mia Yim name. As confirmed, Mia Yim has signed with Impact Wrestling. So back in Impact, using her current name, Mia Yim, Thoughts about that?
It's only a 6-month contract. They've done that with a lot of their women talent specifically. Over the recent time. No, I think it's good for her. I think it's good to get out there, knock off that rust. She was in catering for damn near a year at WWE, and she's been off
shit.
for 6-7 months since then, and it's good. Like I hope to see her do very well and either go to AEW or stay there and make the name for herself there. But she's talented and she deserves it, man. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
I mean, she does, and she has history with the company, as we know, right? We can see her going up. Her and Rosemary again. I don't know if Sue Young's back. If her and Rich Swann had I think they had their kid already. So she's been posting stuff a lot recently. Sue Young has. So the Sue Young Mia Yim thing would be interesting to see kind of rehashed again, but it's great to see her against Deanna. Taya's over there, so. As much as it pains me to say it, because I do really like AEW's women's roster, just like you and I have expressed our concern over multiple times. We don't feel like they're doing the right thing to promote it fully. Impact is quite the opposite. They very much know what they're doing, and they put the women on that pedestal, to give that equal time. I think it's good for her. I think in a way it's safer for her as well. She's familiar with Impact, and as much as I like Impact, and I hate to even say the statement, she can go there and be a little sloppier and not get the criticism that she would get maybe coming straight out of being so rusty into AEW, right? Because there have been some people come over to AEW and made their debuts and get roasted by the internet and everything else because they don't look perfect, right? Which is another argument, another story for another time. But anyway, so it's good. She wasn't the only one to make her re-debut at this pay-per-view, by the way, because before the main event of Alexander and Ishii, out comes Moose, and he's going to steal the show, and he's not going to, he's talking all this game. Just a very good promo. Moose is fantastic. Top of this game right now, right? But he gets blackout, and he gets interrupted by a returning Sami Callihan. So Sammy's back. He pile drives Moose, right? Him and Moose have long had issues. So it'll be interesting to see which way we go here. If they have them set up for something. Apparently there's a gauntlet match tonight on Impact to determine the number one contender for Alexander. So some things left to be said. But they got Sammy back. Like I said, Mia Yim re-signed here. Good things going on. Speaking of signings and good things going on, the main event for me, it wasn't the final match, but for me, it was the best match, was the Impact Tag title match. Violent by Design defending against the Briscoes. And Briscoes are so hot right now. See, I did it again. I swear to God, it's my pitch perfect, man. I don't mean to. I just stumble into it every goddamn week.
I mean, you do.
But they are.
You got to.
They are, though. They are very hot right now, and deservedly so. So they fought the Good Brothers at Multiversa matches, and like we talked about last week, we made mention of, they reportedly have signed contracts with Impact Wrestling, although I didn't really dig deep, but I couldn't find details about that. After this pay-per-view, I think that's going to be cleared up a little bit because the match was great. Violent by Design went with Diener and Eric Young. Big Joe During was on the outside, right? He kind of got involved a little bit here and there, but it was Diener and Eric Young, and the match was great. Wasn't as good as like their FTR match, but that's hard to put a candle up to that, right? This was fantastic display of these four men, though. It was a very enjoyable match. Won by the Briscoes with a Doomsday device for your new Impact Tag Team Champions. So they obviously have signed something. I mean, although, they had FinJuice wear the belts when they were just kind of like moonlighting there too. So you never know, but I think it's a good time for Impact Wrestling, and I'm happy for the Briscoes as well. Keep collecting that gold.
Absolutely. They're really damn good. They keep apologizing for their past, and hopefully, people will forgive them. But I understand that this day and age, people don't exactly forgive. But it'd be nice to see that because they are quite talented, and they're doing all the things that they possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I love them. I think it's great, and we'll see where it goes from here. Impact's tag division is maybe not as deep as AEW's, but strong too, very strong, and just gets stronger with the Briscoes. So love us some of that. That was Impact. Like I said, coming up in June is their next big pay-per-view, so keep an eye out for that. Now, we have lots of AEW to talk about. We had a Rampage. That was a early bird special Rampage, if you would. I got plenty of things to say about that. But before we get into it, we like to do a preview of some of the independent wrestlers out there. Everybody knows who Adam Cole is and Bryan Danielson and, Sami Callihan and all that stuff, right? Maybe you don't know some of these other ones, and maybe you do. And, we like to kind of go through and do some highlights. So this week, Jamie's going to walk us through a independent wrestler spotlight. Jamie, who do we spotlighting this week?
Well, this week we are going with somebody who has not been on the show. That is what we've been doing a lot lately. But I am going outside of that because honestly, I want them on the show. And I can't seem to lock them down in order to get the interview, but I will get it done. I guarantee it. Hopefully this will be the catalyst. But this is none other than Kenny Alfonso.
Ooh, okay.
He is starting to get everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean he has been in a lot of different promotions, and he's only been out for 5 years. Like, that's the thing. He's only been wrestling for 5 years. But this year alone, he's done Glory Pro, St. Louis Anarchy, Freelance, and Terminus, Black Wrestlers Matter, and Journey Pro, obviously. I believe he's got something coming up with GCW here before too long as well. But no, he's been everywhere. He's been on World League Wrestling, AAW, AWF, First Wrestling, Zello Pro. Like, he has been everywhere. And he is phenomenal, people. When I'm not lying, this guy is the real deal. He has got all the tools. You need to look him up on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram at the Kenny Alfonso. And he is dynamite. Like, you will enjoy everything you see of this guy, for sure.
Good old Kenny. And, we mentioned him a lot when we talk about our Journey Pro shows. He's been basically featured as, I don't want to call him the face of Journey Pro, but he's been one of those faces of Journey Pro since the relaunch, right? Since 78 weeks later, and deservedly so. Like you said, he is not going to be available for us little promotions much longer. Somebody's going to pick him up sometime soon. He is so talented. Do yourself that service. Click down below. I'll have links for everything in the description box down below. Love us some Kenny Alfonso. They got something planned for him, I think, coming up this month on the 27th. Headlocks for the Cure is the next Journey Pro show. And they haven't announced any matches as of yet. But they did, when they announced the title and showed the poster, then make mention of a few things. Talk about Christian Rose and the title. And also made mention of the culmination, or they hinted at the culmination of the Moonshine Kenny thing. So I don't know what that means. I mean, they've kind of gone the gauntlet with that, right?
You would think, but we'll see. I mean, they got something up their sleeve for this one, and hopefully it is the culmination. They can move on, because I would like to see Kenny versus Christian for that title. I really would.
You want to see him move into that? Okay. Okay,
for sure.
Well, we could spend a lot of time talking about Journey Pro. We won't necessarily do that. Like I said, check out Kenny down below. Tell him to maybe get in touch with us so we can do an interview for him and put him out there. But if nothing else, give the man a follow. He deserves it. He is a future star. Already star in Kansas City, future star in the world coming up. Let's talk about a little bit of AEW. Did you watch Rampage from this past Friday, the early bird special Rampage?
Not at all.
That's
I
okay.
didn't watch any of it at all.
You weren't alone. They reached a series low for Rampage in viewership, under 300,000 views. 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central, 2:30 Pacific airtime. We made mention several times a few weeks back, right, that with Warner having the Stanley Cup playoffs and the NBA playoffs on their channels, is going to fuck up with Rampage. Not Dynamite, that's the flagship show. They're going to keep that where it is for the most part, unless they absolutely have to, right? But definitely besting up with Rampage, and it sure did. And it's a shame because this was actually one of the better episodes I felt has happened in a while. We had 2 women's matches. The crowd was amped the whole time. It was a very good episode. It's just unfortunate that I didn't watch it when it aired. I taped it and watched it I think I watched it later that night or Saturday afternoon, something like that. But unfortunately, they're going to be doing the same thing this week. 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central. Next week, it's 6 Central. It is what it is. So the card itself was really good. So they opened up for the first time on Rampage, opened with a women's match too. Like I said, there's 2 women's matches. So you open with Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho, Ruby, and Toni Storm as a tag match. Ruby and Toni played very well together. You know, they know each other very well from their time in WWE. Of course, everybody knows what you get when you get Jamie and Britt together. So all 4 of these women has some great chemistry, really good action back and forth. You've probably seen some GIFs online of some, back and forth kind of like roundabout action that happened. But we'll put a pin in that. We're going to circle back to that theme here in a minute. But it was a very enjoyable match. Ended with Ruby pinning Britt.
Interesting.
I still think they're leaning into those 2 being the finalists in the tournament. That's still my guess.
I mean, that feels too predetermined, and that would just piss me off. I mean, you still got Britt going against the Joker, whoever maybe the Joker will be, hopefully Maki Ito. But, we'll see. We will see. I don't know.
I mean, that's a good point, but I agree with that statement. But then again, with the way they've been, going about the women's division, predetermined does feel out of foot for them right now. As much as it pains me to say that, because they have the talent there and they could be making this a lot better. Is all I'm saying. Tony's going to challenge, which you thought was going to be Hook, but ended up being Danhausen. They fought last night on Dynamite. We'll talk about that in a moment. Yeah, JD Drake and Hook go out 1-1. Hook got the victory. An enjoyable match. And then afterwards, Danhausen comes out asking to be in his corner against Tony Nese, to which the crowd was behind him, and then Hook faked it and then just walked past him, right? Didn't admit it. So a lot of what they did, I think they did this on purpose, knowing that it was such an early showing is not going to get good viewership. They did a lot of things that were set up for last night that if you missed or didn't get a chance to watch Rampage, it's not like you're missing plot points or anything really major, right? There's a couple good matches you missed. The other one was Yuka Sakazaki versus Riho, which you said last week. We've seen this before several times over. Still a very good match, though, no matter what. And the crowd was really into this match. That was a surprise to me, I'm not going to lie. But they were really into this match. And Riho did win, advanced. Scorpio Sky had a promo with Dan Lambert and Ethan Page, and Kazarian came out to set up. They're gonna face each other, Kazarian and Sky, for the TNT title next Wednesday, or this Friday, excuse me, this coming Rampage. They kind of they dropped this seed briefly. I made mention of it in passing a few weeks back, but they kind of feel like they're slowly watering the seed of dissension distance between Ethan and Scorpio, right? I feel like
I don't want that, though.
I hear you, but I feel like that's one of those, in case we go down that route, things. Let's put just a little bit in there, just in case we go down that route. And you don't have to do like the backtrack like they had to do with Eddie Kingston and CM Punk, which had real life heat, but they didn't really do any story setup for it. So they had to kind of clean it up after the fact before the match happened. I feel like that's what they're doing here. just in case, because this might happen, I feel like that's what it's just little things. Because you got Scorpio being more and more face and Ethan being more and more heel every time.
Yeah, I mean, you have that, but I don't know. I feel like I don't, I eventually do want to see those two go at it. I just not yet. That's where I'm at because I love Ethan Page.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks that his vlog's going away, but it's.
I get the point, though. I mean, let's be honest. I've been starting to check out of some of the wrestlers' vlogs because they are, like you said, they are kind of repetitive. And even like Evil Uno, hey, I got my Dark Order shirt on. Evil Uno even said that the energy to do the vlog is exhausting. And he says on his Twitch when he was over the weekend when him and his wife were streaming something on Twitch. I caught it in background, and he said that, the truth be told, it's like it's a lot of work for very little payoff, financially and otherwise. He pays somebody to edit it. So he's like, I got to find a way to make this actually worthwhile or it's not really worth my time. And Ethan more or less said the same thing, right? It's taken away all this time from his family and his heart's not behind it. So I've gone, I know we totally tangented to like wrestling vlogs here, but that's the way I take it. I look at it. But I feel like they're just setting it up in case. And they haven't really set it up. Like I said, just a seed that's been planted is all that I feel like there's just a little bit, right? A passing glance here and there sort of thing, right? Main event was Jay Lethal versus Konosuke Takeshita, who officially is part of the AEW roster from what I've heard. I know that he had come over and wrestled a little bit during the pandemic, and he was like back and forth a little bit with Japan and everything. But from what I've read and heard, he's here, at least for the time being. He's here to be in AEW, be on American TV. So this was highly entertaining match as well. Like I said, good matches to be had. Jay Lethal won, and they keep doing stuff with him and Samoa Joe, which I'm good with because it gives Joe some spotlight without having to be like taking away anybody's heat, and it gives Jay the right spotlight. I'm over the whole Satnam Singh introduction, right? They did a shit job of that. Him as Jay Lethal's enforcer, I'm cool with. It gives the focus to Jay. I'm good with all this. So we'll see what they got. This week they have more qualifying or more quarterfinal matches. They have Ruby Soho and Riho. They have Kazarian going against Scorpio Sky for TNT title. But once again, 4:30 Central Standard Time. That's a shit time slot. So
it's god awful.
They need streaming. So let me ask you this. Okay, I read somewhere about this that I can't remember who it was. If it was, it might have been Bischoff. It might have been somebody else. But I read an article on some dirt sheet. It talked about how badly AEW needs to get into a streaming deal, preferably with HBO, which is where all signs seem to point eventually, right? But for this sake. Yes, it might ruffle some feathers with Warner Media. They signed a big deal with them. They're investing more into doing multiple shows beyond the 2 live, wrestling shows. But they need to set up something streaming-wise because while audience like you and I and people older than us, right, we have cable contracts. They might not be traditional, right? They might be through digital sources, but they're TV contracts of sort, right? But millennials, people younger than us, right, don't. A lot of them only have streaming accounts. They might have 4 or 5 of them and pay more than we do per month, but they have the streaming things, right? It's all on demand. And it's really hurting them, not just, in total right now because TV is shrinking as a medium, but because the future is going to be out there. They need to get on there as soon as possible. I agree with that statement, but what are your thoughts about them? That it would alleviate a lot of these issues with early time slots, these different things. Rampage debuts every Friday, and every Friday at like noon Pacific they release it, right? Something like that. You think that's better? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think honestly, going to HBO makes a lot of sense for them. I mean, Warner Brothers already has a big thing with HBO. I think actually HBO is owned by Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Turner, and Turner actually has a lot of stuff on there as well. I think you were saying Warner. I thought you probably meant Turner.
The Turner Broadcasting Network is owned by Warner Media.
Yeah, which Warner Brothers
they're affiliated with, but I think it's Paramount, and there's different things. I don't know. I think this art, maybe I misquoted some stuff in there, but anyway, I didn't mean to. I don't want to digress, but yeah.
No. It makes a lot of sense and on a lot of multiple things, mainly because they have the ROH catalog as well. There are just a lot of big pieces there to be able to watch old AEW matches and whenever you want, to watch old Ring of Honor whenever you want, and to have it on a very well-known app that's absolutely crushing it right now compared to everybody else. Like, people are leaving Netflix in droves and going to HBO Max. It's ridiculous.
Amazing, because a year and a half ago, that was not HBO Max was the butt of jokes, and I defended it because I liked this content that was on there, so I find that hilarious. Sorry.
It's one of those things that it just they have to do it. Like, I don't see any way around it. I think even if Bischoff is trying to say he's the one who came up with it, of course he did.
I don't remember if it was Bischoff. Don't quote me on that either.
Bischoff
said stuff before about this stuff.
He's that guy. That's all I'm trying to say. He's that guy. This is my idea. It was my idea, the Sting to change his face paint. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever, man. Like,
I created wrestling, like, hey, slow down, Bischoff.
Right, and it's just one of those things. I can't see a world without them being part of the streaming services, and HBO Max just seems like a match made in heaven. Like, Peacock has got WWE. It just makes sense.
Well, they're going to be on a streaming service at some point. I know that's a given. I think we all can agree to that fact. Sooner or later, therein lies the problem. And I think that right now, we're talking about first world problems for sure. This is a company that's 3.5 years old, give or take, something like that, and, is well exceeding the network's expectations of them to the point where they want to make a bunch of additional content, right? They want to do a bunch of reality shows based sort of things they want to produce out there. They're completely happy with them hitting the mark where they're hitting at. We're talking about when they fall below 1 million, is it a disappointment? 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, 1 million would have been cause for like dancing in the streets naked shit. So
valid.
It is King of the Joneses, though, a little bit as well. So you got to make that balance. So you guys let us know what your thoughts are. Does AEW, do they need to hurry their ass and get on streaming service ASAP? Does that matter to you at all? Do you think we're just whistling Dixie over here? Let us know. Give us your thoughts. AEW and streaming. Is it HBO Max? Do you think maybe Paramount Plus? That's what it was. I think they made mention of Paramount Plus. That's where the Paramount thing came in. That's where my lines got crossed, because I think somebody had dropped a rumor that it was potentially going to be Paramount. I don't know, but give us your thoughts. Give us a comment. Give us a tweet. Let us know what you think. Okay, so
God, I hope they don't go to Paramount Plus.
That to me seems unlikely with so much smoke about HBO. Going to Paramount doesn't feel like it's going to be the course of action. Disney doesn't seem to be happening. If Disney does anything, they're going to buy WWE, right? I don't think this content is Disney friendly. Amazon, maybe. I could see Amazon, but that's a long shot. I don't know.
It just makes a lot of sense with all of the HBO stuff that's been going on. Like, they have sponsorships from HBO Max. It's got to be. It's HBO. Happening.
It's got to be HBO. It's just maybe they have to wait until a period of time to get it official. I don't know, but we shall see what happens. I would love to see some sponsorship deal announcement. It's coming soon. I would also like to talk about Dynamite from last night. So, Jamie, what were your thoughts on? Why don't you walk us through Dynamite? Because I thought Dynamite was a very good episode with a meh ending.
I would agree. I felt like the match before the main event was probably arguably the match of the night.
I think there was so many fantastic matches aside from the main event.
Yeah, like the show as a whole was pretty damn solid. So let's just go ahead and run through the card real fast, and then we can get into the good stuff. So opens up with a Owen Hart Foundation tournament quarterfinal match of Adam Cole Bebe versus Dax Harwood of FTR. Excellent match. Adam Cole gets the win in a sharpshooter.
Yeah,
Really?
I don't.
Loved it.
They like putting Adam Cole first on the show. I mean, hey, it makes sense, right? Get those eyes on the show early. Cool, right? But I don't know if I've seen him do a sharpshooter. I'm sure he has.
It's the first one I can remember off the top of my head. When I saw it, I'm like, wow, I haven't seen him do that before. Like, obviously, Dax does a lot.
They do
and
it a
he's
lot,
wearing
yeah,
his Bret Hart stuff. But yeah, it was pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, very, very enjoyable. I thought this was an excellent match. So, like I said, lots of great matches in the show. This is one of them. I loved it. It was good. It was all good. You also got to, they showed it during this match the first time, and then they kept showing back, which got annoying. But Owen Hart's widow was in the building actually, so that was cool to see too. I did appreciate that.
Yeah. After this, you had another actually fun, solid match of John Silver versus CM Punk. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the finish.
I really enjoyed the post match.
That's fair. That's fair because that was really good. And we'll talk about that.
Yeah, let's come back to this. This was an entertaining match. CM Punk won, by the way,
by Buckshot Lariat.
Surprise. Yes. Which is
that's what I liked.
That's one of the things I want to get to. Put a pin in that.
Okay. So after this, you had like a little Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter thing discussing the tournament, blah, blah, blah. That was fine. But then you had Danhausen's first ever AEW televised match versus Toni Nese with Smart Mark Sterling. And Danhausen jobbed.
Total squash. Total job fest.
I was so pissed.
I was
so pissed.
I was with you.
But then
we
got redemption.
They got redemption, sure, but it was so he didn't even get a move in, right? Like they kind of do a quick tie up, turn around, he goes to curse him. Smart Mark gets on, like literally I can explain this thing in like 10 seconds. Smart Mark gets on the ropes, gets distracts Danhausen to stop him from doing the curse, gets knocked into the corner. Toni knows it's a running knee, 1, 2, 3, finish. It's like, but let's talk about the post because you want to talk. I think we can come back to it, but let's just talk about it now. So after the match, what happened?
After the match, Sterling cuts a promo about how Danhausen got an entrance while Nese didn't get one, which I thought was funny. And then Nese just kept going after Danhausen with knees. He hit him with another knee, then says that he'll have to Sterling said he'll have to beat all the internet favorites, which I thought was a nice little nod there. Nese goes for another knee strike, but he takes down his knee pad and everything. He's getting ready to go. Then cue Hook's music. Hook makes the save, and then Danhausen gets up. Hook's right there. Danhausen sticks his hand out to shake Hook's hand. Hook shakes it. We officially have HookHausen, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. HookHausen is upon us.
Let's go.
The champagne flow and the angels sing.
They are going to be wrestling Smart Mark and Toni Nese next Wednesday too. So maybe we actually get to see Danhausen do a move. Yay!
I am for that.
I'm happy. So I'm going to give this a pass, even though I wanted to rip into it as it happened. As soon as they did the post-match, I'm like, okay, all right. If they do this again, though, to him next week, ooh, I'm going to have words.
Yeah, if that happens next week, I will lose my ever-loving mind.
And Danhausen got himself a new cape, slightly tweaked entrance, slightly tweaked, right? The Trentron's not just the spiral; it's not now it's the spiral with floating Danhausen heads. So he did have his teeth though. Maybe that's a dead.
They were on his. They were on his belt.
Oh yeah, he had the jar of teeth on his belt.
No, he had teeth on his belt.
No, the jar of teeth is what I'm getting at.
No. He just had the teeth on his belt.
I understand that. Because he has it on his like little jacket thing too. There's a little like smock that he wears. But I'm talking about the jar of teeth that he usually brought in. That's what I was missing.
Yeah, that wasn't there.
Meh, it's a thing. I know. I'm whatever. Minute details. Keep going.
All right, I'm going to put a pin in the next thing on the MJF-Wardlow signing because I have thoughts about that thing.
I figured you would.
Positives and negatives, just to be honest.
Okay.
Samoa Joe cut a promo, whatever, about the Joker. It was fine. I really didn't care about it.
I don't think it's going to be, by the way, the more I thought about it, I don't know if it'll be Gargano. I think it might be Cesaro.
We'll see. I'd really like for it to be Gargano, though.
Gargano, I know, but Cesaro's been making cryptic tweets soon and all this stuff, so maybe.
Yeah, but Gargano Cole, that's what everybody wants.
I understand that, but I have a feel. I got a gut feeling that I think it's not going to be Gargano. I got a feeling it could be Cesaro. We're gonna find out next week. Both of the Joker matches are next Wednesday, so.
Yeah, so we'll find out. Hopefully one's Maki Ito and the other one's Johnny Gargano.
We shall see.
All right, so after this was an excellent match. Excellent match. I really want to preface how excellent this match truly was for both of these men. Ricky Starks and Jungle Boy for the FTW Championship. Wow, excellent match. Oh my God. It was so damn good.
It was very good.
It's good to see Jungle Boy grow and not do the same exact match, which we're going to talk about the same exact match here in a little bit for one guy who's a pillar who does the same thing every goddamn time. But anyway, this match actually was shocking. Ricky Starks retained based off of Swerve Strickland's interference, distraction.
Yeah, the way that panned out. And there's lots of nuance they had going on. The match was great. Go check it out if you haven't. Like Jamie said, it was very good. Ricky Starks really coming into his own, I feel, and he's getting his in-ring skill matching his mic skills. I think the neck injury set him back, but he's matching those up well. And Jungle Boy coming out on his own, doing all this is doing him a lot better, getting this stuff in here. But after the match, at the end of the match, they had Swerve came out. And he caused a distraction where the ref was focused on getting him away from the ring and missed the pinfall by Jungle Boy. It was odd how it all played out. I don't know what direction they're going here. If they're making a play for Swerve and Keith to be tag titles, if they're doing a breakup angle, because I keep feeling every time that it happens where you have Christian and Jungle Boy alone, it just feels like Christian's going to turn on him every time. Do you get that feeling too, or is that just me?
I hate to say this, I really don't care.
I know you don't care, but
I don't think I'm. If it happens, it happens.
I don't know what all this was for. I felt that in a way, the kind of way you did the ending, it didn't really do anybody any service, really. It didn't give a clear answer to the match. It didn't really set anything different for Swerve and Keith. They're still kind of feuding with Team Taz, I guess.
Yeah, but also
maybe
just
Jurassic Express now. I don't know.
It just thrust them into the tag team championship picture because you have the tag team champions right there. They got involved in one of their matches against the Team Taz, so they're all in there. We could end up seeing a Double or Nothing, a
triple threat,
three-way tag
match.
Yeah, triple threat.
Probably. I mean, it should be FTR taking those tag belts. We all know this.
They got other stuff they're doing right now.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay. It just to me it felt a little confusing. I didn't was like, where's the direction? Are we really doing this like triple threat thing? But I guess so. Whatever.
Yeah, only time will tell. So after this, we had the Jericho Appreciation Society. This was redeemed, though. I will have to say, as much as I'm fucking over this.
Oh, so over this.
I was so excited when I saw Jon Moxley pop out. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. And here's Jon Moxley. Then here come the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club. And they're still outnumbered. But then here comes Santana Ortiz and Eddie Kingston, all to surround the Jericho Appreciation Society. It was kind of beautiful. Even William Regal got in on the mix and straight up punched Jericho right in the mouth.
Just a straight punch to the face on the outside.
It was beautiful.
That was fine. And lots of filler, it feels like, we're going to, but please God, let's get rid of this Jericho bullshit. Just stop it. Every week I'm just even more over it than ever. But I appreciate this going on, like you said, some Blackpool stuff. Cool.
Yeah, so there's that. All right, so they did a quick video package hyping Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb at Double or Nothing. I'm looking forward to this match a lot.
So good.
This is going to be amazing. But then right after this, we had the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament quarterfinal of Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Basically the same woman.
The match the
legit.
internet wanted from the second Toni Storm got announced as being part of AEW, right? Because they are basically the same mold of woman, They fight similarly. They have a similar, look about them, body structure, some moveset, striking ability. I mean, they're 12 years in age difference. That's about it, right? Other than that, it's basically this carbon copies.
Yeah, this match was amazing. I love this match. Every last ounce of it. It was hard hitting, very technical, very strong style for both these women. Back and forth. Both women looked exceptional in it. It really put Jamie Hayter in a different light. I'm hoping to see her starting to feud with Britt after Britt wins the tournament. And that would just be a beautiful thing. But Toni, man, Toni looked great.
She's looking as good as she did when she was in when she's in NXT UK. I think that was the peak of her WWE run, right? And I think she's definitely worked to, with one major exception, I will say. I don't like the new Storm Zero. I don't like it. It's
okay. It's her old Storm Zero.
I like the quick turn power bomb, sit down power bomb better.
It's her old Storm Zero she's brought back.
It's the original one she did. Yes, I know, way back in the day. But yeah. I appreciate the Storm Zero. Just the quick sit down as the Storm, which they're both called Storm Zero, which is that's another thing I don't want to get into. That's the whole Lion Tamer and Lion Tamer thing. Is it a Lion Tamer or is it a Lion Tamer? Lion Tamer.
Well, he changed it to the Walls of Jericho. The Lion Tamer is always the Lion Tamer.
But understand, but then you hear people say it's the Lion Tamer when he's doing the walls, and it's, you know what I mean. It's like I like the Storm Zero where I just don't think it looks as good. I just don't personally. That's just
like the WWE saturated sports entertainment version.
I like the sit down power bomb. It looked better. It was a quicker, snappy move that she did. It had a better look to it. This looks a little sloppy at times, and it did against Jamie. And I hate to say it, but I don't mind.
It had that move. Out of nowhere feel. That's what the thing about it. That's what I like about it a little bit better, because it feels like you can just get him and sit him real quick.
But she did that with the quick power bomb, because it was a real fast bam bam. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. That's a small gripe. That's the only thing I would say. And they kept. Did you catch in the middle of it the commentary? They kept kayfabing this Sheeta injury for some reason. I know Shida was literally in Japan this whole past week. She wrestled Maki Ito, for God's sake, right?
Yeah. I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe she got hurt over there.
Maybe she got hung up in quarantine or travel issues, and but they keep like hinting at that that she might not make it to her next match, right?
Yeah, which
I don't know,
against Red Velvet. So we'll see. Maybe they'll have an alternate.
That's the whole thing. Fantastic. So final match.
All right, well, Toni won that match.
Sorry, we didn't get there.
Yeah, Toni won. After that, you had Scorpio Sky cut a promo. With Frankie, which I thought was great. Sami interrupts and Kazarian. Whatever, it was fine.
This Friday they're fighting. Okay, we got it.
Yeah. After this, you had the main event, and it sucked. I'm sorry. Not a fan, like, whatsoever of this main event. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You had Jeff Hardy versus Jeff Hardy from 1997.
Anything goes, though. It was anything goes.
Anything goes. Okay.
Why this is the main event? That's my question. This is a Rampage match.
So many other things. I didn't like it.
Hardy actually won, which is maybe a surprise, right?
It was a big surprise for me, honestly, because I figured it'd be the typical Darby Allin match, which it was. Darby got the shit kicked out of him for 98% of the match. He finally came to, started winning, and next thing you know, out of nowhere, a crucifix bomb for the win for Jeff Hardy. What? I didn't get it.
I'm sure there's reasons there. I don't know what they are.
All right, well, let's talk about something good.
All right, so you want to do the contract signing, and you want to go back. Let's talk about CM Punk for a second. I have just a couple thoughts I want to throw out there.
Of course.
All right. So first of all, I love the fact that Long Island is perhaps the only place in America that CM Punk is definitely not the favorite. I don't know why that is, but I love it. And I love the fact that he revels in it. He came out wearing an Islanders jersey. Now, they're in the UAB Arena, which is the home of the Islanders. Didn't make the playoffs, but whatever. As he turns around, though, it's also revealed that it's not just an Islanders jersey. It's a John Tavares Islanders jersey. For those of you not hip to sports, John Tavares was the captain of the Islanders, was like their young stud, all-star, future, Wayne Gretzky type of player, right? And about 4 years ago, he left to go to his hometown Toronto Maple Leafs and caused a big stink in New York because of that. So he's wearing the John Tavares jersey out there. So I love that whole bit. The part that I want to get to, so after the match, Hangman, who's on commentary, right? When Punk does the buckshot to get the victory over Silver, he's like, oh, hell no, comes down to the ring. I don't know what to make of this because you have Hangman doing heel shit. You've got CM Punk doing heel shit. Who's what in this feud? I mean, using somebody's move against their buddy is definitely a heel move.
Is it though in this day and age? I mean, yes, but it isn't.
I know they like to run this whole like tweener versus tweener bullshit, whatever. But for the most part, there's still definitive lines that you can still point to. He's the good guy, he's the bad guy, right? Even though they kind of run some stuff. Who's the bad guy here? I don't know.
It's easily Hangman. Hangman has been the one who's done the most heel stuff. And honestly, CM Punk, the only thing he really did heel was revel in the fact that Long Island hates his guts. Like, I don't see anything that he did.
Okay,
he's still the
right.
face.
I thought, as I wrote it down, I'm thinking about this. I think maybe it's just like the one-off thing. It's just like how MJF got cheered right in this one place, for whatever reason, Long Island hates him. So maybe just tonight he was acting like the heel and doing things. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I like the whole like Hangman turn the way they're doing it. I didn't feel like they needed it.
It's the Shawn Michaels Hogan. That's how I feel about it. Like, it feels super forced. Don't like it whatsoever.
The match is going to be
I think it's a
fantastic
bad
either
play.
way, right?
Yeah.
I think the match is going to be fantastic either way. So
you didn't need to do this.
No.
That's the way I feel about it. But I feel like they had to have a face versus heel. It's like, no, you get face versus face. Like, people love that shit too.
One of my favorite matches as a kid was Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 6. Because it was unheard of. Face versus face. What? All right, well.
Just gotta get past that trope, man.
So that's the only thought I had there. I didn't know if maybe it was just because of Long Island, or what. But some of it just kind of felt off to me. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that. It did, but I definitely think it was the Long Island variant.
Okay.
Variable.
I can understand that. I'm good with all that. All right. So you want to talk about a contract signing because it had lots of going on here.
One thing in this world that I can guarantee is MJF is predictable. That is his one fatal flaw.
He is.
He is so fucking predictable. And like they did like a little spoof on Dark Side of the Ring with him. I thought that was kind of fun.
I
did really enjoy it a lot.
Did you catch as Wardlow was coming in, Sans music, the Trinitron or the TV the big screen graphics they had there?
No, I didn't.
It had the words "Boo Wardlow." So those details, expert.
Yeah, that was great. But one of the things that I enjoyed about this was, MJF will free Wardlow from his contract.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's done so many other times, you have to go through what he did to Cody Rhodes. He had to go through the 10 lashings.
Yep.
Then the cage match, in which War Dog is 0-2. And if he's able to win both of those or withstand both of those, he will get MJF at Double or Nothing. That's the exact same fucking thing Cody Rhodes had to do.
You're not wrong. I think Cody Rhodes had another trial in there somewhere. But he wins, he gets an AEW contract, he's freed of MJF's, thumb. If he loses, he can never be employed by AEW ever again, right? So we know he's winning. And the cage match is against Shawn Spears with MJF as the referee. So he made reference to Cody and also to WWE 2024, which is 2024 is when his contract with AEW comes up, and it was that part was an astute little kind of jab, which he throws out there. But you're right. You called this last week. I said you're probably right too, right? Same thing. Like, not even a variation.
That's what pissed me off about this. I enjoyed this segment. I enjoyed this segment a lot, actually.
Well,
I like the fact that Shawn Spears was wearing all white. I like that thing. I like the visual pieces with the white chair, everything. And then when the handcuffs came off, Wardlow does what Wardlow does. I really enjoyed that. But the big piece for me was it was so fucking predictable, and I knew exactly what was going to happen to a T. And it felt WWE. It felt like WWE, this segment. And that's what pissed me off about it. Because it was just like, throw in just a hair, a sprinkle,
something different,
dash
something, right?
Of something original that you haven't done yet.
I'm with you there, and I thought it would be good if they did maybe a little bit of stuff they've done and mix in some other stuff. So like the whole like no power bomb thing, right? But then I have some other types of stipulations that go with it, right? To be fair, he's run this gauntlet with Cody Rhodes and with Jericho. And they used a lot
and
of
CM Punk.
Oh, and CM Punk, right. So there's been a lot of stipulation things thrown into those three guys. I mean, what else is there that's not, here's the devil's advocate I will take in that. I agree with you, but just for sake of argument, let me just play devil's advocate. It serves the larger narrative which he's kind of utilizing of I'm not going to be around here forever, right? Whether that's truly just like I believe, is a complete kayfabe thing or whatever it may be. I don't know. I'm trying to defend it and I can't because I don't know. It's just, I'm with you. Everything else was great in this segment. But you're right. We get a cage match, we get 10 lashings, and then the stipulation: if you win, you get a contract. If you don't, you're gone forever, right? So we know how it's going to end. So predictable, yes, but it's still enjoyable.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I didn't not like it. It just pissed me off because it's the same thing. Like it had all the ingredients, but it's just WWE'd. That's the way I feel about it.
He Samforded it up, Well, he is the mensch of the cinch, so.
That's true. He did get a nice pop, though.
He did. Yeah. Even when he was dogging on the crowds, those of you up in the upper deck, all you poor bastards up there, Anyway, even his compliments are digs. So, all right. Well, I think that's it. Anything else?
That was Dynamite.
That was indeed Dynamite. So, overall, good episode. Lots of good matches, just not the way they ended it, personally. And if you disagree with us, let us know about that. But two women's matches. I'm going to keep saying it till I get it, Tony. 2 women's matches. Just do it, okay? Could have shortened up this segment. You could have cut out that whole Jericho thing into like literally a 30-second behind, backstage bit. Putting the women's match out there. That's all I'm saying. All right, so we got stuff coming up here. So for those of you in Kansas City metro area, we won't be making it this weekend. We have Jamie has family obligations, and I have otherwise obligations as well. So we're not going to make it. Central State Wrestling, formerly DWF, is having their next show at South Overland Park down the Camelot Ballroom. So if you are looking for wrestling locally in Kansas City, go check them out. I believe it's first bell at 7, if I'm not mistaken, this coming Saturday, the 14th. We got Journey Pro coming up on the 27th, Headlocks for the Cure. If you have not already, yesterday they did release, and they linked through it on their Twitter, so go follow Journey Pro KC. They did release out the footage of the lights out match. I mean, what else do you call it, right? Of the main event, the cell phone lit Journey Pro title match of Christian Rose. Once again, check out our interview with Christian Rose to hear more. Thoroughly enjoyable guy. We're really deep into movies and cars, so it was a good time. Oh, we talk about wrestling too. That's right. But we'll be back next. We'll be back next Thursday. Same bad time, same bad channel. We'll see who else is moving on in this tournament. What's happening? I know we're also gearing up for some pay-per-views. I gotta defend this belt coming up here pretty soon. So the 28th, 29th is Double or Nothing. So put it up and defend it. So lots more to come here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate it. Jamie, do you have any final words to the peoples?
I don't.
Take us home then.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Total Spotfest, I have one word for you.
Oh, just one. Okay.
HookHausen.
We'll see you next time, guys.
Peace.